You know, just just vanish and reappear at home. They only bother with flu powder and the car because we're all underage and we're not allowed to apparate, appar, par, appar. Should I search it up on Google just so I can hear how they speak it? Annoying. Apparate. Yeah. Harry's feeling a panic turns suddenly to excitement. Can you fly it? No problem, said Ron, wheeling his trolley around to face the exit. Come on, let's go. If we hurry, we'll be able to follow the Hogwarts Express. And they marched off towards a crowd of curious muggles out of the station and back onto the side road where the old Ford Angelia was parked. Ron unlocked the canvas trunk with a series of taps from his wand. They heaved their luggage back in, put Hedwig in the back seat, and got into the front. Check that no one's watching, said Ron, starting the ignition with another tap of his wand. Harry stuck his head out the window. Traffic was rumbling along the main road ahead, but their street was empty. Okay, he said. Ron pressed a tiny silver button on the dashboard. The car around them vanished. And so did they. Harry could feel the seat vibrating beneath him. Hear the car engine. Feel his hands on his knees, and his glasses on his nose. But for all he could see, he had become a pair of eyeballs floating a few feet above the ground in a dingy street full of parked cars. Let's go, said Ron's voice from his right. And the ground and the dirty building on either side fell away, dropping out of sight as the car rose. In seconds, the whole of London lay, smoky and glittering below them. Then there was a popping noise, and the car, Harry and Ron, reappeared. Uh-oh, said Ron, jabbing at the invisibility booster. It's faulty. Both of them pummeled it. The car vanished, then it flickered back again. Hold on, Ron yelled as he slammed his foot on the accelerator. They shot straight into the low, woolly clouds, and everything turned to dull and foggy. Now what? Said Harry, blinking as a solid mass of clouds pressing in on them from all sides. We need to see the train to know what direction to go in, said Ron. Dip back down again, quickly. They dropped back beneath the clouds and twisted around in their seats, squinting at the ground. I can see it, Harry yelled. Right ahead there. The Hogwarts Express was streaking along below them, like a scarlet snake. Due north, said Ron, checking the compass on the dashboard. Okay, we'll just have to check on it every half an hour or so. Hold on. The minute they shot up through the clouds, a minute later, they burst out into the blaze of sunlight. It was a different world. The wheels of the car skimmed the sea of fluffy clouds. The sky a bright, endless blue under the blinding white sun. All we got to worry about now are the airplanes, said Ron. They looked at each other and started to laugh. For a long time they couldn't stop. It was as though they had been plunged into a fabulous dream. This, thought Harry, was surely the only way to travel. Past swirls and turrets of snowy cloud in the car, full of hot, bright sunlight, with a fat pack of toffees in the glove compartment. The prospect of seeing Fred and George's jealous face when they landed smoothly and spectacularly on the sweeping lawn in front of Hogwarts Castle. They made regular checks on the train as they flew farther and farther north, each dip beneath the clouds showing them a different view. London was soon far behind them, replaced by neat green fields that gave way in turn to wide, purposeless moors. A great city alive with cars and multicolored ants. Villages with tiny toy churches. Several uneventful hours later, however, Harry had to admit that some of the fun was wearing off. The toffees had made them extremely thirsty, and they had nothing to drink. He and Ron had pulled off their sweaters, but Harry's t-shirt was sticking to the back of his seat, and his glasses kept sliding down to the end of his sweaty nose. He had stopped noticing the fantastic cloud shapes now, and was thinking longingly of the train miles below, where you could buy ice-cold pumpkin juice from the trolley pushed by a plump witch. Why hadn't they been able to get onto platform 9 3/4? Can't be much farther, can it? Can't be much farther, can it? Croaked Ron, hours later still, as the sun started to sink into their floor of the clouds, staining it a deep pink. Ready for another check on the train? It was still right below them, winding its way past the snow-capped mountains. It was much darker beneath the canopy of clouds. Ron put his foot on the accelerator and drove them upwards again, but as he did so, the engine began to whine. Harry and Ron exchanged nervous glances. "It's probably just tired," said Ron. "It's never been this way before." And they both pretended not to notice the whining growing louder and louder as the sky became steadily darker. Stars were blossoming into blackness. Harry pulled his sweater back on, trying to ignore the way the windshield wipers were now waving feebly as though in protest. "Not far," said Ron, more to the car than Harry. "Not far now." He patted the dashboard nervously. Then they flew back beneath the clouds a little while later, and they had to squint through the darkness for a landmark they knew. "There!" Harry shouted, making Ron and Edwidge jump. "Straight ahead!" Still lighted on the dark horizon, high on the cliff, over a lake, stood up many turrets and towers of Hogwarts castle. But the car had begun to shudder and was losing speed. "Come on," Ron said cajolingly, giving the steering wheel a little shake. "Nearly there. Come on." The engine groaned. Narrow jets of steam were issuing from under the hood. Harry found himself gripping the edges of his seat very hard as they flew towards the lake. The car gave a nasty wobble. Glancing out of the window, Harry saw the smooth black glass surface of the water. A mile below, Ron's knuckles were white on the steering wheel. The car wobbled again. "Come on," Ron muttered. They were over the lake. The castle was right ahead. Ron put his foot down. There was a loud chunk, a splutter, and the engine died completely. "Uh-oh," said Ron into silence. The noise of the car dropped. They were falling, gathering speed, heading straight for the solid castle wall. "No!" Ron yelled, swinging the steering wheel around. They missed the dark stone wall by inches as the car turned in a great arc, soaring over the darkened houses, then the vegetable patch, and then out over the black lawns, losing aptitude all the time. Ron let go of the steering wheel completely and pulled his wand out of the back pocket. "Stop! Stop!" he yelled, whacking the dashboard and the windshield, but they were still plummeting, the ground flying up towards them. "Watch out for that tree!" Harry bellowed, lunging for the steering wheel, but too late. Crunch. With an ear-splitting bang of metal on wood, they hit the thick tree trunk and dropped to the ground with a heavy jolt. Steam was built. How are they not dead?